So you've heard the promise, right? AI is going to be the ultimate creative partner. I mean, it could write scripts, generate images, even edit video. It's supposed to get rid of all the boring stuff between your idea and your final product. But what if that same incredible convenience, that perfect, helpful assistant, is actually, quietly, building walls around your creativity? What if your greatest tool is secretly a prison? That's the paradox we're digging into.
Think about it like this. You've got a killer idea for your next YouTube video. So, you turn to your AI buddy for help. You think you're getting a brainstorming partner, but what if you're really getting a guide? And what if that guide is leading you down the most predictable path, away from your most original, weird, and brilliant ideas before they even have a chance to breathe?
The source material we're looking at has a name for this, the frictionless prison. And it's a fantastic paradox, isn't it? The very systems designed to make your creative life effortless might be the exact things that are chipping away at your ability to think for yourself. It's a prison with no bars, built entirely out of convenience. And to really get it, we need to look at the three main walls that keep you locked in.
Okay, let's start with the first wall. What happens when truth itself becomes unbelievable? So, imagine you've just spent weeks, maybe months, creating this incredible documentary-style video. You've got amazing, authentic, real footage. But in a world just flooded with AI content, how do you prove to your audience that what they're seeing is real? This is where the very idea of trust just starts to shatter.
You know, we're basically living in an age where the phrase, seeing is believing is, well, it's dead. Some experts are calling this a post-veridical state. And what that really means is that because an AI can whip up a perfect fake for practically nothing, the value of any digital evidence just plummets. Suddenly, your amazing, real-deal footage looks exactly the same as all the synthetic noise out there. What you're looking at here is a complete flip of what we could call our truth economy. It used to be really hard and expensive to create a convincing fake, right? So we could pretty much trust what we saw. But now, it's dirt cheap to create a perfect fake, but proving something is actually real is incredibly difficult and expensive. For any creator out there trying to present facts, that's a nightmare, a total crisis. And you can see how this chain reaction just slams right into your work. First, because of the cost collapse, your authentic video is now drowning in a sea of synthetic noise. This creates a provenance gap where you just can't easily prove your stuff is real. That leads your audience to rational discounting. They start to doubt everything. And then comes the knockout punch, strategic denial. Even if you have undeniable proof, a smoking gun, someone can just yell, deepfake, and people might actually believe them.
All right, so that's wall number one. The outside world of information is becoming a minefield. But wall number two? That one's internal. It's all about what's happening inside our own heads when we start to rely on these incredibly powerful tools to do our thinking for us.
Now, we've known about cognitive offloading for a while. You've heard of the Google effect, right? That's when we stop remembering facts themselves and just remember where to find them. But generative AI, that takes it to a whole new level. We're talking about generative atrophy. This isn't just about forgetting facts, it's about losing the muscle for connecting those facts, for synthesizing information, and forming your own unique point of view. You know, the very skills that make a great creator's work stand out.
And you've got to understand, this jump is huge. With a search engine, you still did all the heavy lifting, right? You'd open 10 tabs, read everything, and piece the story together yourself. But with a generative AI tool, it does the synthesis for you. It doesn't just help you find some inspiration. It can generate the entire starting idea, anchoring your whole creative process to its logic right from the beginning.
And look, this isn't just some vague idea. This quote is from the big 2011 study that first nailed down the Google effect. It's scientifically proved that when we trust an external system to hold information for us, our brains just don't bother to form those deep connections needed for real understanding. We're outsourcing the very process of learning.
Okay, let's recap. Wall 1, you can't trust what you see out in the world. Wall 2, your own creative brain might be getting lazy. Now for wall number 3. This one is about where your ideas even come from in the first place. I mean, how can you have a unique take on anything if you're only ever shown what you already know?
So this is the classic filter bubble, but it's on steroids now. As a creator, you're looking for ideas, so you watch a few videos on a topic. The algorithm sees that, and its only job is to keep you watching. So what does it do? It shows you more of the same, and more, until your entire world of information shrinks down to a tiny pinhole. Your current ideas get confirmed over and over, and that one random, brilliant idea from way out of left field that could have been your next big video, yeah, it gets locked out. You never even see it.
So what exactly are we losing in this smooth, predictable world? Well, researchers have ways to measure creativity. They use terms like perplexity, which is just a fancy word for how surprising something is, and burstiness, which is about how varied and uneven its rhythm is. Real human creativity, it's high in both. It's unpredictable, it's jagged, like a great jazz solo. AI, on the other hand, is built for smoothness and predictability. So by living in its feed, we're surrounding ourselves with predictable mush, when real innovation always comes from those jagged edges.
So we've got this prison of convenience that can make us less informed, less creative, and ultimately less original. It sounds pretty bleak, I know. But here's the good news. It's not a life sentence. There is a way out. We just need an escape plan.
So if this whole digital world is being built to be perfectly smooth, totally predictable, and absolutely frictionless, how do we fight back? As creators, how do we find those unique angles for our videos that literally no one else is talking about? How do we bust out of this prison?
The answer, it's almost beautifully simple, but it is so powerful. You have to intentionally, deliberately put the friction back into your creative process. You have to seek out the inefficient, the random, the weird, the difficult. The escape route is paved with the exact things the algorithms are trying to save you from.
And hey, this isn't just some abstract mindset. There are actual tools for this. Try using a random web generator that just throws you into a corner of the internet the algorithm would never, ever show you. Or you could install a browser extension that forces you to see arguments against the articles you're reading. Talk about friction. Or just try an app that sends you 10 deep articles a day instead of an endless doom scroll. The goal here is to engineer serendipity. You're creating the conditions for a happy accident to happen.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. Maybe we've been chasing the wrong kind of perfection all along. A perfect creative partner isn't one that just agrees with us and spits back what we already think. The perfect partner is one that challenges us, that pushes us, that introduces us to the ideas and maybe even the parts of ourselves that we didn't even know were there.